All right, it looks like the GOAT Caitlin Clark may be finally taking somewhat of a stand versus the nonsense that Stephanie White has been attempting to push upon her. We just saw Sophie Cunningham talk about Kelsey Mitchell potentially winning MVP.
Caitlin Clark just sent a message loud enough for the entire basketball world to hear, and it may have put head coach Stephanie White under more pressure than ever before. If anyone thought Clark was simply going to smile through the criticism, stay silent, and fully embrace an offensive system that many fans believe limits her strengths, they may have misunderstood the mindset of a generational superstar. But here's what makes this situation so interesting. Clark is not creating drama publicly. She is not exploding in press conferences or turning practices into headlines. Instead, she is responding in a far more calculated way, through confidence, influence, and the undeniable reality of the platform she has built around herself. Because whether people like it or not, Caitlin Clark is no longer just a player. She is the centerpiece of a massive business engine that drives attention, ratings, ticket demand, and national conversation around the league. And when a player reaches that level of influence, every discussion about system, coaching philosophy, and offensive identity suddenly carries much higher stakes. You are watching Glowstar Vision, and today we are breaking down what many fans are calling Caitlin Clark's clearest public statement yet about her role, her strengths, and the direction of the Indiana Fever offense. Over the past several weeks, the Fever organization has consistently promoted the idea of a more balanced offensive system, one that includes more shared ball handling, more off-ball movement for Clark, and a slower, more structured approach in certain situations. But Clark's recent comments and overall messaging have reignited the debate around whether that approach truly maximizes what makes her special. Because while the coaching staff continues emphasizing versatility and system balance, many fans still see Clark as the engine of the offense, the player who changes the pace of the game, stretches defenses the moment she crosses half court, and creates chaos with the ball in her hands. That's why every discussion about her role has become so amplified. Supporters of the current strategy argue that reducing constant defensive pressure could help preserve Clark physically across a long season and make the offense less predictable. Critics, however, believe the team risks overcomplicating things by taking the ball away from one of the league's most dynamic creators too often. And that tension has now become one of the defining storylines surrounding the Fever heading into the season. Because whether people agree or disagree with the system, one thing is undeniable. Caitlin Clark's impact on the league, on television ratings, and on fan engagement has changed the scale of every conversation around this franchise.
Caitlin Clark is a marketing juggernaut, but says winning will unlock more. At this point, Caitlin Clark can sign and secure any brand deal she wants. The only thing missing from her meteoric rise to global ubiquity is winning an elusive championship. The Indiana Fever superstar guard.
In a revealing new interview with Yahoo Sports, Caitlin Clark opened up about the growing reality of her influence both on and off the court, and the scale of that influence is difficult to overstate. According to reports from Sportico, Clark earned far more through endorsements than through her WNBA salary, partnering with major global brands such as Nike, Gatorade, and State Farm. At this point, she is not just one of the league's biggest stars. She has become one of the most marketable athletes in all of sports. And that larger context matters when discussing the future of the WNBA. The league is entering a new era of visibility, media attention, and financial growth, with expanded national television exposure and increased commercial interest surrounding the sport. Clark's arrival has undeniably played a major role in accelerating that momentum, bringing unprecedented attention to regular season games, ticket demand, and mainstream coverage. But what stood out most in the interview was not just the business side. It was the mindset. Clark made it clear that she is not interested in becoming passive within an offensive system or fading quietly into the background of someone else's structure. Her comments reflected the mentality of a player who sees herself as a central creator, a tempo setter, and a driving force behind winning basketball. And that is exactly why every conversation about her role, usage, and offensive identity continues to generate so much attention heading into the season.
Right here, we want to highlight this. If I don't play basketball well, she replied, then none of this is going to come along with it. And that's what the fans love to watch. They love turning on the TV and watching us play the game. I think that's why the WNBA has grown so much. It is because people realize how good our craft is, how good the game is.
Listen closely to what Caitlin Clark actually said, because many fans believe her comments revealed far more than they appeared to on the surface. In discussing her growing spotlight and success, Clark emphasized that everything surrounding her career ultimately comes back to basketball. She pointed out that fans tune in to watch the game itself, the excitement, the energy, and the experience that keeps people coming back night after night. And that's where the interpretation becomes fascinating. To many supporters, those comments sounded like a reminder of exactly what made Clark such a phenomenon in the first place. The deep three-pointers, the fast-paced transition offense, the full-court passing, and the freedom to create with the ball in her hands. That style of play is what built so much of the attention around her rise through college basketball and into the WNBA. It's the version of Clark that electrified arenas, drove television ratings, and helped bring new audiences into the sport. So when discussions continue about more off-ball movement and a slower offensive structure, some fans immediately connect that to a bigger concern: whether the system could unintentionally reduce the very qualities that made her such a transformative player. Supporters of the coaching approach argue that versatility and balance are necessary over a long season, especially given the defensive pressure Clark constantly faces. Critics, however, worry that overemphasizing structure could take away from the improvisational pace and creativity that make her uniquely dangerous. And that tension between system basketball and superstar freedom has become one of the biggest storylines surrounding the Fever heading into the season.
On Saturday, she inked a multi-year extension with Xfinity as a brand ambassador that further establishes her status as a cornerstone in the company's basketball strategy, which includes its designation as the WNBA and NBA's official TV service provider, as Clark grows as an endorsement sensation.
And that move immediately sparked even more discussion about Clark's influence within the larger basketball landscape. The reason this partnership drew so much attention is because Xfinity is connected to Comcast, which also owns NBC, one of the networks now heavily invested in WNBA coverage through the league's massive new media rights agreement. At the same time, Clark's visibility across major sports platforms continues to expand far beyond traditional WNBA coverage. From national commercials to high-profile television appearances alongside NBA legends and analysts, she has quickly become one of the most recognizable faces connected to basketball media today. That broader visibility is why conversations around her role on the court carry such enormous attention. For many fans, Clark is not simply another star player within a system. She has become a centerpiece of the league's current growth era, someone who attracts casual viewers, drives national conversation, and creates must-watch moments whenever she steps on the floor. That doesn't mean a coaching staff should abandon structure or team basketball, but it does explain why every tactical decision involving Clark is now viewed through a much bigger lens than ordinary lineup strategy. Because when a player reaches this level of visibility, influence, and commercial impact, every adjustment becomes part of a larger conversation about the direction of the franchise and even the league itself. Hit that subscribe button right now if you are tired of watered-down coverage and recycled headlines. This channel dives into the biggest WNBA storylines, the hottest debates, and the pressure building behind the scenes as the season approaches. The tension is rising, the expectations are massive, and we are covering every twist, every controversy, and every major moment from start to finish.